This video is for those that are looking to buy their first property in Colorado. You're waiting for the market to slow down, and she has slowed down. But these damn interest rates are so freaking high, it's making the monthly payment just out of control. But what's only getting more out of control is these rental prices, and you hate shoveling money off to the homeowner each month. You're like, what the hell is going on? But you still want to buy a house. You're not the royal heir to some crown. You don't have Uncle Scrooge as an uncle.
I have to stress, that is not a challenge.
And you're not selling your butthole on OnlyFans. This video is for you. I have someone I want you to meet. Hey guys, I'm Sean Murphy. I am the team leader of the Moxie Property Group, a real estate team here in the greater Denver metro area at Foothills. Kind of run this channel here, but I got a squad of peeps behind me that help me sling real estate around here. So this channel is mainly to tell you all about the areas, what you need to know about pros and cons, cost of living, everything about this market. So if you're into that, definitely subscribe to the channel. But this video right here, really geared towards those first-time home buyers that are like, gosh, it's so freaking expensive. What am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna give you some tips. I'm gonna give you some advice. I'm gonna give you my forecasting of what I think it's gonna look like this upcoming year for you, and hopefully just give you enough information to make a decision on which option is the best route for you. But before I give you a quick rundown of where we are, status, and what I expect, let's first go back into the past. And let me just tell you, give you a quick rundown, because maybe like 15 years ago, you were a wee lad or laddie, and you didn't really have the optics on what's going on around in the market here. So let me just give you a quick rundown from about 2008. Boom.
Can't look at it after you buy it. It's so hard.
We're down over 16%.
We're now down 43%.
This could be the most serious recession in decades.
We had an 8-day
2008, the market crashed because of the predatory lending and the way they were bulking loans together at the banking system. So everything crashed. As far as a lot of people were out of their homes because they were being foreclosed on. Long story short, all that new inventory made the bottom drop out on the market. So prices were really, really low. And because of this economy situation, the government started doing things called quantitative easing, which is basically just printing a lot of money to stimulate the economy. And so when the prices were low, the money supply was up, the interest rates went down as well, and this created kind of this feeding frenzy that we had really the past 10 years, about since like 2011, 12, when we were kind of at the bottom of that recessionary period, and now prices have just been going up and up and up due to the inflation. And this is when things really got crazy about like 2016 through about 2022, people were paying over asking for homes. It was crazy, jacking the prices up to where they are right now. That's how we got these really high prices. And now to tell you what that all means, let's go to Sean. Thanks, Sean. Sean here. So what that means now, we have these high prices, and since the government had to raise the interest rates, we're like 7%, from about like low 2s, 2.5%, so big jump. So what that's done is kind of halted the market in a sense, because there aren't as many sellers that are wanting to sell right now because they have a super low filthy gangster interest rate, and so there's low inventory right now mixed with high prices and high interest rates. Really what it comes down to for you is that monthly dollar amount that you have to pay each month for a mortgage is pretty freaking expensive. So despite all that hot garbage, that all sounds bad, right? Here's the angle that I think it still makes sense for a lot of first-time home buyers without a big fat stack of cash to put down for a down payment, why now is the right time. Here we go. So I've been tracking, this is the greater Denver metro area. All right, so what I want to draw your attention to is this list to close price and the average days on market. So you can see right here about where interest rates went up, and that's because the competition for the homes has gone down. Up here, this is saying list to close price, that the home was listed at X and it sold for 102% of that price. 106% of that price. And that means that people were bringing not only closing expenses, not only a down payment, but then a big fat stack of cash on top of that to pay for over what the bank was going to lend them on. And a lot of VA buyers that are trying to utilize the full benefit of the VA loan and go zero down, they couldn't do that. And there you guys were getting your butts kicked right around this time. And also homes were flying off the shelves. So sellers were getting multiple offers typically the first week that their house was on the market, and then a couple of days to review those offers, and then that's where you're getting this 11 and 12 over here. So yeah, it was crazy. So what you're seeing now are that homes are going for less than asking, means the sellers putting on the market, they're not getting the offer they want, so the price is being lowered. And you're seeing that these homes are staying on the market for a little bit longer. I'm going to tell you just in a second why that's so awesome for you. And during the time that properties were selling more than asking, it was so competitive that a lot of buyers were waiving their opportunity to have inspection items fixed or covered or replaced or repaired, or even get a credit to have them replaced. The seller was like, go kick rocks. If you don't want it, I'll get somebody else that does. I have plenty of buyers, right? So now it's a safer time for a lot of first-time home buyers, because if there's something really wrong with a property and you spent all your money on closing costs and down payment, you leave yourself at a big risk if you have to do some major repairs when you get into the property. So now that there's less competition out there, they don't have that other person be like, I'll go get this person to buy it. So sellers are a lot more open to like, yeah, hey, that's not working, we'll have that replaced. Here's a credit for you have to have that replaced. And they're a lot more willing to negotiate with you, which puts you at less risk. Also open to doing things called like 2-1 buy downs, where essentially you're going to lower your interest rate for the next couple years so that you can make that payment a little bit more digestible. Some people, those folks that are thinking that the interest rates are going to come down next year, I'm one of them, are basically leveraging that 2-1 buy down to buy them some time, kind of hedging their bets that rates are going to come down in the next year or so, and at that time I'll just be able to refinance. And even if not, I know I'm just going to come up to this regular interest rate that I can work with. I can make it happen, right? So, but they're kind of hedging their bets that things are going to slow down. We're also seeing sellers offering to pay closing costs, right? Supply and demand. And when there's not a whole lot of buyers out there, you're going to see these sellers. They're now starting to work with the buyers for these properties. So getting closing costs covered. Another thing that was like, wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to pay for anything a couple years ago. Now they're willing to give credits to help you cover the cost of closing the loan. And I'm going to get into all those costs actually. So what to expect as you're going through and paying, because some people are like, do I have enough money to buy this house? And I'll give you an idea how much. Nobody actually talks like that.
Please, sir, I want some more.
But I'll explain how much you should account for about to close on a property. So the other great thing about these homes sitting on the market for a little bit longer is you don't have to feel like crazy rush and stressed. And so you could really wait and look for the home that you want. There aren't as many, but you can go find the property that you want and those inspection items covered. Typically, if there's issues, you just put yourself at a lot less risk. And for this first time home purchase, that's typically where I see buyers just a little bit more uneasy about the process, right? So it's a nice warm blanket for you. Now that these properties have been sitting on the market too, you have more opportunity to ask for those items like closing costs. So if you're out there and you're looking at homes, you know, it's sometimes hard to get somebody in their first weekend, a seller, to accept an offer under asking, or to offer seller credits, to shell out a lot out of their pockets. But after, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month of being on the market, If you look for those properties that have been sitting for a little bit, those are typically the ones that are more willing to have that conversation with you. So now that there's more of them, that's a big thumbs up. Have you guys given me a thumbs up yet for this video? If you haven't, hook it up. Help a brother out. But let's keep moving. I'm talking a little bit about those costs to be expected being paid for by the seller, or which you should conservatively expect to be paying. This does also apply to the mountain areas. We are seeing a slowdown for the mountain home sales, but I typically don't get as many first-time home buyers looking up in the mountains, usually because prices are a little bit more expensive. But the further you get out from the greater Denver metro area, like if you're okay with like a 45-minute to an hour drive from getting back down the hill, you could find some properties up there that are about the same that you could expect to be paying for a single family detached home, and about that, I'd say the same quality here in the Front Range. So we cover both of those areas, so definitely hit us up for whichever one you were interested in. Now, when it comes to like down payments, some people are getting those paid as a gift from their family, which is sweet, using down payment assistance programs like CHAFA. But they basically have programs to help with down payment assistance, which takes a little bit of the bite off of how much money you need to put down. And some of those I'm seeing as low as like 3% of the home's value that you would need for that down payment assistance program. There are a couple additional costs, and so you'll have your inspection and your appraisal cost. Inspection typically runs, let's say, about $500 to $800, depending on the home size and type that you buy. The appraisal is an expert opinions of value. Somebody your bank is going to send out to check the property and the condition of the home to ensure that if they're giving you, say, $400,000 in a loan for a property, that it's actually worth $400 in their eyes. So they'll have somebody out to come out, and you will pay for that one. Typically about $650 to $700 for that appraisal. So that would be money that you need to bring out, and that typically you're not going to get covered by any seller. So you'll need to have that cash. You'll also, for closing cost, it typically say about 2% of the property value is what you'll need for that. So it's kind of around 5% if you're doing the math real quick. If you're doing a down payment assistance program, and you could sneak in with 3% down there, and then maybe 2% for closing costs to get that covered. So you're looking at 5% total. But again, the closing costs are something that in some situations, we can sometimes get those covered by the seller. So we'll always look into that and look for those opportunities for you. Closing costs are going to cover like tax prorations, any HOA dues that might need to be paid in advance. Same with insurance premium, if you maybe have to pay 12 months up front with your lender, things like that. So those will be encompassing your closing costs, which are going to be variable depending on which property you're looking at. So really, if the situation is right, you get a down payment assistance program, or if you're VA, I mean, if you're either active military or a veteran, you can get the VA loan, which one of the awesome benefits of that is $0 down payment. Still have the closing cost, still have the appraisal cost, but again, opportunity to get the closing costs covered. And so in that instances, we've had some of our VA buyers walk in, actually like pretty much nothing out of their pocket is what they're paying. I mean, nothing, like inspection and appraisal fees. But that's why you guys have to reach out to us. We can talk a little bit about what you're trying to get, what you should expect to be paying for that, connect you with the lender if you need to figure out what you would be approved for, and let you know then if you could expect to pay in closing costs. And if all that looks good, we can get you out there and get you shopping. So in my crystal ball that I have, that I absolutely can see exactly what happens in the future. Just guessing though. Not really, but I do expect, and they are saying that interest rates are going to come down in 2024, and when that happens, there's going to be another push for people out on the market. There's going to be people that were sitting on 2.5% interest rate. They're like, all right, like it's not 2.5, but we can make it happen. So they're going to be selling and then they're going to be buying. And those guys have fat stacks of cash to beat you out of the way with when it comes to down payments. And so you would lose in competition to them. And really, like anybody, if there's multiple offers, sellers usually feel better about the assurance coming from somebody that has a larger down payment. And so if you don't want to get pushed around when that time comes, now is a really good time to be looking. And when people talk about a market crash, I think we're going to have bigger problems than just the housing market itself if things go awry this time. You know, last time the housing market crash was really regarding like the predatory lending that was going on and the government just giving people these ridiculous loan types with the adjustable rate mortgages. So that's what caused that. I think something more national or global would happen, but I don't think inflation is going to slow down. I mean, so the cost of goods is going to continue to go up, and houses are a good, and so home prices are going to continue to go up. And I just see that if you wait till 2025, when maybe the things go back down and sit out 2024 altogether, we're going to have another push. And it's going to jack the prices up even higher. And so even if the rates go back to 4%, you're probably going to be paying the same amount at that time to get your property. So again, to get your specific advice, you have to get on a very specific phone call with our team. And we love helping you out with that. So give us a call. If you haven't yet, give me that dang thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later. Bye.